Lando Norris is mounting a serious challenge to his teammate Oscar Piastri for the Drivers' Championship, and McLaren is running out of time to decide what to do about it. Norris sits just 14 points behind Piastri with 5 races remaining, and he has clearly been the faster McLaren driver over the last 3 weekends. What started as a comfortable championship lead for Piastri has turned into a tense internal battle that threatens to hand the title to Max Verstappen. McLaren's decision to let their drivers race freely is backfiring badly. The gap between the two McLaren teammates has closed dramatically in recent weeks. Since the start of September, Norris has been consistently outperforming his younger teammate. Norris has scored 39 points in that period, while Piastri has managed just 27. That 12-point difference has brought Norris within striking distance of the championship lead. More importantly, Norris has the momentum, while Piastri appears to be struggling under the pressure of leading his first title fight. The United States Grand Prix weekend perfectly illustrated the current form difference between the two drivers. Norris qualified second on the grid, while Piastri could only manage sixth. Throughout the entire weekend, Norris was 0.3 of a second faster than his teammate in every session. That consistency shows this was not just a one-off performance, but a genuine pace advantage. Norris has found something in his setup or driving style that's working better than whatever Piastri is doing. The sprint race on Saturday offered a glimpse of what might have been if the two McLaren drivers had been allowed to race each other cleanly. Piastri got a better launch off the line and was in position to challenge Norris for the lead going into turn 1, but contact with Nico Hülkenberg sent Piastri into Norris, eliminating both McLarens from the race. This was the second consecutive race where the two teammates collided. In Singapore, they made contact during the Grand Prix. Now, in Austin, they crashed out of the sprint together. McLaren's policy of letting them race freely is producing expensive consequences. Sunday's Grand Prix showed exactly why Norris is now the bigger threat to win races for McLaren. He started second alongside Max Verstappen and had the pace to challenge for victory. His problem wasn't speed, it was track position. Charles Leclerc jumped him at the start by gambling on soft tires, and Norris spent 35 laps stuck behind the Ferrari. By the time he finally made the pass with 5 laps remaining, Verstappen had built an insurmountable lead. Norris finished second, but he had clearly shown the pace to win. Piastri's race was far less impressive. Starting from 6th, he spent the entire afternoon trapped behind Lewis Hamilton. He never looked like he had the pace to make a move and cross the line in 5th. While Norris was fighting at the front and collecting 18 points, Piastri was stuck in the midfield, scoring just 10. That 8-point swing in a single race brought Norris even closer to his teammate. If this pattern continues for the remaining 5 races, Norris will overtake Piastri before the season ends. The performance gap between the two drivers has a clear technical explanation. McLaren team principal Andrea Stella explained that the Circuit of the Americas requires drivers to push the car right to the limit, almost to the point of locking all 4 tires. Norris has been able to find that limit and drive right on the edge of it. Piastri has been more hesitant, lacking the confidence to push the car as hard as his teammate. When both drivers are in identical cars, that difference in confidence shows up immediately in the lap times. Telemetry data from qualifying reveals exactly where Norris is beating Piastri. Through the fast corners at turns 6 and 7, Norris carries more speed because he trusts the car more. At turn 11, Norris is again faster because he's willing to brake later and harder. These small differences add up to 0.3 of a second per lap, which translates to multiple grid positions. Norris is extracting the maximum from the McLaren, while Piastri is leaving time on the table. McLaren now faces an impossible decision about team orders. Piastri is still the championship leader by 14 points, which means he's technically the driver they should be supporting. But Norris has been faster in recent races, meaning he might have a better chance of beating Verstappen. If McLaren imposes team orders to help Piastri, they risk slowing down Norris and allowing Verstappen to win races he might not otherwise win. If they let the drivers continue racing freely, they risk more collisions that could cost both drivers valuable points. There's no good answer to this problem. The tension between these two teammates exploded into public view in Singapore when they made contact during the race. The remaining calendar will determine whether Norris can complete his comeback against Piastri. Next weekend is the Mexican Grand Prix, where both McLaren drivers will need strong performances to hold off Verstappen. After Mexico comes Brazil with a sprint race, then Qatar before the season concludes in Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia. Norris needs to outscore Piastri by just 14 points across these 5 races to take the championship lead, and based on recent form, that's entirely achievable. The irony of this situation is that McLaren's internal battle is helping Verstappen more than either of their own drivers. While Norris and Piastri are crashing into each other and fighting for position,